All right, what's going on, guys? So, it's been a while, maybe a week or two since I've been on here, but I've been busy, and now since daylight savings or whatever you call it now, with the time change, like I get home, it's dark, and I just have no time to make videos. So, we're gonna try to still make videos on the weekends and maybe post them throughout the week so it seems somewhat normal. But I figured I'd do a walk and talk today, as I call it, on kind of what I do as far as collecting knives now. Just kind of a quick overview of like my collecting thought process has always been and what it is now. And I'm doing this because I'm like near the end of my collecting, which I'll talk about later. But this is a new knife I picked up. I think I might have posted a reel or a short about this, but this thing's sweet. Vector, just like the other one I had, but purple instead of blue. And factory Timascus clip. I think the first one Bradley ever did. But regardless. So I used to always, like, when I first started getting into collecting, I was always about constantly trying new things. And I've got to the point now where I've tried so many things that I know what I want. So I can usually look at a knife just in pictures or something and know if I'm going to like it. Although sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes I'm still surprised. But yeah, when I first got into collecting, I was so dead set on trying every single knife possible that I actually have a spreadsheet. I'll have to look and see how many it's at to now. It's definitely over 300, but I've had at least 300 knives like through my collecting journey, just because I've tried everything for the most part. Like every Spyderco you can think of, all the main ones. There's some Spydercos I haven't tried, like some of the weird ones. Tried all the Spydercos, pretty much all the Benchmades, all the Kershaws, like all the main knives you can think about. I've tried. I've had multiple of. I mean, you guys know I've had like 8 or 10 bug outs. Actually, I've had way more than 8 or 10 bug outs. I've had 8 or 10 bug outs at one time. We'll call it like 20 bug outs. I've had a million pair of 3s, pair of 2s, all of them. So like, I was really into just trying out anything and everything for a long time. Trying out all the Chinese knives, all the American knives. Like, I didn't really care about where the knife came from. Even now I don't necessarily, but I didn't care about where the knife came from, everything. Like, I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to try every design, get my hands on every design, kind of figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. So I tried all the ZTs, and actually this is a good example. For a long time I was really into ZTs. That was like my favorite brand, and I was really into it. I collected ZTs for a while. Then I was like, ZTs are kind of boring. Kept a few. I was into Spydercos. Tried every freaking Spyderco out there, and they were really nice. I like Spydercos. I got bored of those. And then around this time is probably when I started getting into like the more high-end stuff, like Chris Reeve, Hinder, all that stuff. So I kind of had escalated from the $200-$300 knives to $500-$600 knives. And I was getting into Shiro and all this, and that escalated very quickly because I went from, hey, I kind of like knives a little bit, to, hey, I'm head first into knives. So went through all those, and that's still like my favorite range of knife as far as like value to what you get, or dollar to what you get. So I guess the value itself is like that $500-$600 range. But I was really into that area of knives for a long time, probably like 2 or 3 years, mainly because if you guys ever follow my Instagram, or what you should, why you not follow my Instagram, me personally, I wouldn't be doing that. I would just follow me. But I used to be really into those area knives because, or even just like, we'll go down to $200, 200 to like $600-$700, simply because those are the most fun to customize. Like, you don't lose a ton of money customizing typically, but you can still customize them and have a ton of fun and have a really good build quality knife. For example, the reason I like the bug out and the pair of 3 so much is I love customizing. Like, I love changing scales, I love blade finishes, all the things, changing clips, screws, hardware, all that stuff. Like, that's my favorite part about knives, or at least it was for a long time and kind of still is. I Obviously I don't customize, you know, these high-end things as much, but I love customizing knives. So that's where I sat for so long in the knife game. And yeah, you'll see that on my Instagram and on Reddit, you know, if you ever saw me on Reddit, on Knife Swap or Knife Club, whatever. But I just love customizing knives. So that's where my collection was for a long time. It was like, what knife have I not tried, or have I tried, but can be customized to make it better? So that's what all the Bug Outs, Para 3s, ZTs, Hinders, Chris Reeves, like all those knives are fantastic to start with. So I love them anyways. And then the fact that I could customize them made them even better. So I went through that for a while, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years, because I think I've been in knives for like 4.5, maybe 5 years now. Yeah, we'll call it 4 years. So I was really into that phase for a long time, and still am. Like, I mean, I still like my Bug Out, still like my Para 3. I'm going to make a video series eventually. It's kind of an inexpensive video series, but I want to get a bunch of different scales and kind of show them off, and, you know, show my thought process and what I like and dislike on different scales and different makers. Just because I've tried scales and hardware from like every maker you can think of. Like, don't get me wrong, there's probably some on Etsy somewhere that I haven't tried, but like I've tried pretty much all of them, all the big names and a lot of the small names. So was there for a while. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I was there for a while, and then I started getting into what I call the big boy knives. You know, Shiro's $700, you know, this and that. And then the real icebreaker, I never wanted to spend over $1,000. And on Reddit for a long time, I was known as the $1,000 Spectre guy, because I was constantly trying to buy one. And when I graduated in 2020, when I graduated college in 2020, I bought myself a Spectre as a graduation gift. I don't remember. I think I paid like $1,200 for it, which was still, like, at the time, stupid cheap for a Spectre, but it was a user. And oh, another thing at this point, I used my knives, but like, I didn't use the good ones. Like the Shiro, boy, you crazy. I did not use the Shiro. I didn't use anything. So when I got the Spectre, it was already a user, so I was determined to use it. And I had a thing going on. By this time I was on Instagram, and I actually did a thing where I carried it. I carried the Spectre for 30 days and posted every day. And that like changed my outlook on knives a lot. The fact that I could use a really expensive knife and it wasn't going to break it. I wasn't going to hurt it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people should do that. Like, if you're into carrying $400 knives, but you have $1,000+ knives, just start carrying a $1,000 knife. I mean, this right here, I just bought, it was over $1,000, and I'm going to carry it a lot. I mean, you guys see my Oz. Those Oz's, carbon fiber Oz's go for like $1,500, which is ridiculous. That's on another topic. But I carry that thing constantly. Like, once you get over that point where you have no problem carrying an expensive knife, like, it makes the knife so much more enjoyable, or at least it did for me. Because you're not only just sitting there just staring at it, but like, you can use it, you get to use it for its purpose, and it just makes it way more fun. So yeah, got the Spectre, absolutely love that knife. Carried it a ton. Then once you break that $1,000 price point, or once you break any price point, like once you break a $200 price point, you're like, okay, $200, that's normal for a knife. And then once you break 500, you're like, okay, $500, I'll never spend $1,000. Then you spend $1,000. And like, even now, I'm at the point where this is bad, because this is a horrible place to be. Don't do this. Don't spend $1,000 on a knife. But like, I'm at the point now where I spend $1,000 on a knife, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's normal, that's average. Like, I get it. I understand why it costs $1,000. Whereas most normal people are like, you're crazy as hell for spending $1,000 on a knife. Yeah, so bought the Spectre, and then it was on. Bro, I was spending money. I bought a Blue Tool Arius for like $900 at the time, which was insane, because now they're like $1,400 for the exact same knife. I was buying all kinds of stuff. Like, I spent way too much money on knives for a little bit, like even more than I'd already been spending. Bought the Spectre, bought the Blue Tool Arius, and then I was in. And I was really into having like a really big collection with a wide variety. I mean, I had Rat 2s all the way up to Spectres. I mean, I had everything from $20 to $1,500. I was all over the spectrum. And then slowly but surely, you know, I kept trying out new things here and there, you know, trying out a bunch of lower end stuff, you know, $200, $300, not lower end, you get what I'm saying. trying out all the little stuff. And as I kept going, I just kept marking stuff off my checklist. So it made new knives that I see like harder to want. Because I'm like, I mean, why would I even want that? Because I know I'm not going to like it because this, because I've had this. And so I didn't want new knives as much. And then I started getting to the point where I only carried like 3 or 4 knives anyways. So I started selling off everything that I didn't carry. And then we're kind of here where we're at now. Like, I skipped some time in between there, but that's kind of a TLDR of how it went. Like, I've got to the point where if I don't carry a knife, I sell it. Like, for the most part. There's no point in me having a knife that I'm not going to carry. Like, I have this, the Vector. I'm going to carry the shit off. I have my Oz, which you guys see. I have carried a ton. I carry my Bluetooth Spectre, not a ton. I don't carry it nearly as much as the other stuff, just because it's literally twice the price of this. And that's like my only quote-unquote grail knife. I mean, this is a grail knife, don't get me wrong, the spec and everything. But that's like a true grail knife. Like, blue twill, carbon fiber, like, mirror blade. That bitch is bad, okay? That's like a 1 of 5 knife. So, real special. So, I don't carry that one a ton. But, I mean, I carry and use pretty much everything I have. That's kind of my philosophy now. Like, if I own it, I'm going to carry it. I'm going to use it. And if I don't, it usually gets sold. There's a few exceptions in my collection. A couple of my ZTs that are sentimental. Like, I keep those around. I keep, the bug outs. Just because, I got to have a bug out. I love the bug out. It's my favorite, like, quote-unquote normal design. Production design, I guess. And then I think I've showed you guys like a couple bag videos where I've got like an extra bug out. I've got a Spyderco Pair 3. I've got an 80-20, just like other random stuff that I keep around. But that's kind of where I'm at collecting now. Like, if I don't love it and carry it and use it all the time, like, I just sell it, because I've had so much money into knives now, it's kind of pointless to have anything. And all my buddies that I came up with, like, I've got a buddy named Scott, my buddy Jordan, like, we're all kind of in the same boat. We did everything we wanted to in knives, and we're all kind of like, it's okay now. I'm probably the only one that's still going, if any. But I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I'm good. Like, this knife, why would I buy 5 knives that I don't care about for like $200? Let's say they're 5 $200 knives, it's $1,000. I don't care about carrying any of those. Or I can spend $1,000 on one knife and I'm going to carry it literally every day. I don't see why I'd want the 5 knives. Like, earlier in my collecting, I'd be like, hell yeah, give me the 5 knives, over the one $1,000 knife. Let me have the 5 knives. I'd rather have variety. But now I'm like, why would I have 5 $200 knives when I could just have $1,000 knife that I'm going to carry and love every day? So there you go. That's kind of my thought process on collecting anymore. Let me know what your guys' thought process on collecting is. Like, what do you do now? Like, what gets you? Like, do you see a knife and you look at it because it's good build quality and you want that? Or do you just look at, oh, that's a cool design, I want that? Like, what's everybody else's thought process? Because I feel like I'm weird on that particular area. Oh, side note, bro, why are these leaves up here so nice? And then this shit's like a graveyard. Okay, sorry. I know this is a knife video, but I was looking around while walking and I was very confused. Okay. So, anyways, this has been a rambly video. Here is my newest pickup. I'll probably do another video just talking about this knife because, I've been trying to get this spec for 2 years and could never get it. And this is literally the perfect spec Vector. Like, the only thing I ever wanted to change about my other Vector was to have this purple carbon, but this is carbon plate, which you can't get anymore. Because they're from Russia, and the new carbon that they make doesn't look like this. So you had to order it a long time ago. This is number, my old Vector was number 26, this is number 43. But, like, this is perfect. Purple. This is the first ever Timascus clip he did. I wish this was black Timascus, so it was black and purple, so it matched this. I might have my buddy Johnny T make a clip for me, just to match. But for now, shit, that shit kind of popping. Okay, all right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.